Long before Plank Bay had a name, the northern stones told of Arius, a saber-toothed cat who hunted the last sacred mammoth. The carvings showed a rope around Hurisiden's silver tusk and cave bears closing in. They called Arius a thief of moonlight. But just as Arius pulled, black cracks raced beneath the mammoth's feet. Was he dragging her into danger or away from it? Thousands of winters later, the night mirror aboard the Pride of Plank Bay opened a silver eye. Hurisiden appeared inside it.
I was going to film this for Plank Bay in Star, but frightened mammoths come before followers. Always.
3 moonlights burned above the mirror. One went dark. When the third aurora night ended, the road of the moon would close forever. Punkkarin turned the ship north. The Pride climbed above the white mountains, her golden tree wings drinking the aurora.
Small technical observation. The cold is eating our winglight, and the cells require northern cones. We have precisely none.
Then we shall land before gravity chooses the place. Hold on to something that is not currently on fire.
The Pride struck the ice safely, but her wings froze shut. Behind the ship, a crack began swallowing the landing field.
First grip, then power, finally direction. I did briefly test direction first, but that is why the ship is facing yesterday.
Wooden ribs, woven frost-lichen, and one accidental drop of Eve's honey became enormous tracks. The Pride crawled free as the ice collapsed. At last, they reached the cone forest, where frozen pines stood taller than towers, and every trunk carried the clawmark of Kita.
A frozen heart does not always need force. Sometimes it only needs the right song.
The cone opened and released a thread of golden resin. Far between the trees, a bear horn answered Eve's final note.
Magic honey is not a weapon. 1 spoon can keep a cub warm through 1 polar night, but only if it is made to help.
My experimental batch has warmed nothing, but it has permanently married my beard to the tennis racket.
A shivering cub named Muru crawled into their hiding place. Eve gave away her only spoonful, and warm gold returned to his fur. With Muru beside her, Eve walked alone to the stone gate. Beyond it waited a wall of bears and their enormous chief, Rautakura.
This drop carries summer. Give me the complete recipe, little queen, and every northern cone is yours.
No, honey made by fear has no warmth in it. I will trade help for help, but I will not teach kindness at Clawpoint.
The stone doors closed. An empty recipe book waited in the honey chamber, and the last orange light of moonset touched its pages. Outside, bear warriors surrounded the Pride and took the final cone. Without honey, Artu's new tracks began freezing solid.
You have captured the only bird in the north who sings better behind locked doors.
Eve sang to calm the cubs, or so the gods.
1 note for the upper tunnel, 1 for the deep bridge, and 1 for the door nobody watches.
That is not a chorus. It is steering data. Eve has turned a song into a map.
The tracks were frozen. Artu scraped 1 dry drop of honey from a gear and divided it between 2 engines.
20 minutes of motion. The cave is 22 minutes away. Goodbye, emergency tennis ball pendant. You are extremely round.
22 minutes is enough. We do not need an easy road. We need the next true step.
Muru led Eve through a narrow air shaft. Freedom waited on the left, but from the right came the weak cries of freezing cubs.
An open door is not freedom if you must fly past someone who cannot follow.
Eve used precious minutes to make a tiny batch. The recipe remained secret, but its warmth spread from cub to cub. Inside the mountain, Punkkari, Black and Artu found the oldest mural. It seemed to show Arius attacking Hurisiden.
Those are our eyes, our markings. What if the darkness in the story came from us?
Look again. Snow is falling upward, and the footprints walk backward. The stones are true, but somebody arranged the truth in the wrong order.
First, find someone colder than you. Second, give away the warmth you wanted to keep. Third, never measure the final ingredient.
You mock a clan whose children are freezing. Move the mammoth to the moon furnace. We will take warmth from the tusk.
Only then did Eve understand. The bears had already captured Hurisiden, and the furnace had begun to sing. Muru stole the key, but it was heavier than he was. Eve braided her golden curls around it and built a feathered pulley.
A queen never leaves without thanking the guards. Gentlemen, your floor is now honey.
Stone gargles fogged, paws stuck, and Eve and Muru raced toward the mammoth's low song as the tunnel narrowed behind them. The Pride entered a cave too narrow for her masts. Artu folded the rigging and drove the entire ship sideways on one track.
Eve is singing from the left. Hurisiden is calling from the right. I cannot reach both.
Eve is already rescuing herself. The mammoth cannot. Leave Eve a sign and trust her to find us.
Eve's song reached the rearranged stones. The mural shuddered, turned, and the ancient memory finally moved in the right direction. Arius had not trapped Hurisiden. He had pulled her away from breaking ice and placed his own body between her and the bears.
Our ancestor was not given a golden mark for taking power. He earned it by protecting someone larger than himself.
The moon furnace awoke around Hurisiden. Ancient rings began pulling silver light from her tusk.
One broken tusk can warm every cub in my mountain. I will not watch another small heart freeze.
Eve entered through the vents as the Pride smashed through the outer gate. Above them, the final moonlight began to die.
One job each. Artu stops the gears. Black frees Hurisiden. Eve takes warmth to the cubs. Muru opens the nursery. Rautakura is mine.
I have stopped many machines. Admittedly, most of them belong to me, and several were not running at the time.
4 paths opened at once. If even one of them failed, the furnace would take the tusk before the moon disappeared. Artu jammed his racket between the gears. For one breath, the furnace stopped, then the wooden frame snapped.
You wanted my secret, Rautakura. Listen carefully. Warmth begins when someone lets it go.
Eve's song opened the final cone. Aurora resin reversed the furnace and awakened the Pride's wings inside the cracking mountain. The floor broke. Rautakura fell toward the abyss as Hurisiden's moon tusk slid toward the furnace.
Punkkari, the tusk holds the moon map. If it falls, we may lose the road forever.
A map can be searched for again. A life cannot.
Punkkari caught the bear's paw, but Rautakura was heavier than a ship's anchor and the broken bridge kept sliding. Black caught Punkkari. Artu braced the gear. Eve looped a honey rope around the bear. Muru pulled, and Hurisiden anchored them all.
You surrendered the tusk for me. Why?
Because fear may explain what you did, but it does not decide what I do next.
Rautakura ordered the bears to turn the furnace pipes toward the nursery. Its stolen heat flowed back to the cubs. Power was never given to the one who could take it. It was given to the one who chose to protect. The silver tusk touched Punkkari. For one shining moment, he grew to the size of his ancestors, wearing the black and gold mantle of the Oath Keeper. Then he became his familiar compact self again. Only one new golden stripe remained.
Here is your recipe book. Every page says, first help someone. The rest, dear chief, is secret.
With renewed wings and folded lichen tracks, the Pride left the mountain. Mammoth and bears watched together beneath a living sky map.
The map does not lead to the moon. It dives beneath the frozen sea directly under us.
Far below, an ancient silver eye opened over the drowned towers of Kuupätsi, and something in the dark rang a bell.